Welcome to Cornerstone Horsemanship. I'm Greta Cummings.
And I'm Sheri Billings. And today on our Tuesday tip, we're going to talk about desensitizing your horse. Now, part of Cornerstone's training program that we have here is we're not a big fan of desensitizing.
No, we're not a big fan of desensitizing.
It just makes them dull. But yet at the same time, we don't want to scare them to death either.
Right.
So there's a really good balance there on communicating with your horse, asking them to move their feet. And it goes back to move their feet, get to their mind.
Mm-hmm. And it's all about teaching them to trust the people and to help them when they're having problems.
Exactly. So we have a couple of horses in here for training. One has been desensitized. She's dull. She's safe, but not all horses are safe that have been desensitized. And then we have another horse in for training that has a lot of forward movement, and she's easier to work with. She's easier to talk to. She's just an outgoing girl.
She is, and part of that is because she hasn't been overly desensitized like we think this other horse has been.
So let's start with Indy. We'll have a clip here of you working with Indy, and then I'll show you how Liberty is doing along with her training.
As I go to ask Indy to step off, you can see I have to raise my energy a little bit more and even swing the rope at her, and she still doesn't walk off with much energy. So here I'm going to encourage her with the end of the rope, just like I would if my leg was there. She picks up a little bit. I ask her to whoa. She does that pretty decent. Now we're going to go the other way, and again, she's just not that willing to step off. She's just kind of dull to that move forward cue. And again, I need to encourage her to have a little more effort in her walk. And there she goes a little bit, and we whoa her, and even in that is a slow motion maneuver. So here Sheri has Liberty, and Liberty, it took very little effort to get her to walk off, and she's walking with a lot of effort, and she is quick to step around, and Sheri changes her direction, and again she says yes ma'am, and she moves right off with effort and forward motion, and Sheri has to put very little energy out to get her to move. And you'll be able to see here too that even with just raising her energy slightly, Liberty's willing to move forward and even backwards. Oh, little stuck there. But she's willing to move those feet for Sheri. And here she sends her off. She's going to raise her energy. That's all she had to do, and that horse just jogged right off for her.
So if you noticed, as Sheri and I work these two different horses, Indy, the horse I was working with, even when I put a lot of effort and brought my energy up, asking her to move forward a little bit more, she didn't match that energy, and she was really kind of almost ignoring me a little bit. Versus Sheri, why don't you share how Liberty works for you?
So Liberty is a little more talkative. She's easy to move her feet. And I like to pretend that I have like a beach ball between my hands or between my eyes and the horse, and I'm pushing that beach ball into that body part that I am referring to with my body language. And if you can see that she took very little effort, and the more I raised my energy or more I pushed that beach ball into her, the quicker she moved for me.
And it took very little effort on your part to get that response from her.
And that's how we build trust. If you notice that as soon as I took the pressure away from her, she came right down and went, okay, now what? You know? And that's where the scare tactic, where we work too hard on them and now we make them scared of us, works against us instead of for us.
Yes. Yeah. Our whole goal is to get that horse to trust the handler, the rider, so that when it really counts, if you're out on the trail or you experience something, scary at your competition or something, that horse, rather than react to it, they're going to go, what do we need to do about this? Because they're looking to their leader. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you.
And the horses you ride from our barn to yours. Push the red button.
I didn't listen. Anyway, okay. I had to go push with more pressure because it was a little dull.
It was a little dull. It had been desensitized. That button's been pushed a lot.